And dog is such a traitor! Hey guys, your girl Leah, Geek XX Chic, and I'm back with another reaction. And I'm back with another review to The Walking Dead. This is for episode 4, which was called Rendition. And wow, this was another dark episode. It very much reminded me of when we finally got a chance to see Sanctuary and get to know Negan and kind of get a better understanding around who the Saviors were, what they were all about, and kind of what Negan, the big bad Negan, was really like himself. But this time, it's not quite as grandiose. It's not quite as convoluted. We've literally just got a group of ex-military / mercenaries who have banded together somewhat out of fear and somewhat out of their shared trauma, and who we still don't really know what their purpose or their mission is quite yet. But at least we know now why they're such efficient killers. It also explains the guy that we saw in the woods who blew himself up last season. That's very much explains how he knew how to do, you know, the hiding, the camouflage, the stalking of the prey, the fact that he would have military-grade weapons and know how to use them. A lot of things answered where that's concerned. But interesting that we see Leah again. It took me a minute because I was like, why is there a woman and why is she looking at Daryl like this? And then it finally hit me that, oh my God, this must be Leah. This must be Daryl's ex that disappeared with no trace and no explanations. That, you know, we found out last season that Daryl had a whole little tryst. He had a whole love affair that went on during the 5 years between when Rick disappeared to when the season started afterwards. And yeah, Leah apparently was a lot more than she told Daryl. Yeah, Daryl ended up stumbling upon Leah, and Leah is really probably the only reason why Daryl survived, to be perfectly honest, because they were all going to kill him. And Leah decided to bring him back because she clearly still has feelings for Daryl. And I think that this episode was to show us that she's on board, but she's not as on board as she's trying to make it sound. We saw her soft spot for Daryl come up a few times, like with the waterboarding, which is rather extreme, but effective. She does still love Daryl, apparently. There is still some feelings there. She definitely did not want to see him die, because again, she could have just let him die. Dog was the perfect trap to bring Daryl back in on his own. And Dog is such a traitor! My God, after everything, he had sat there like, he's sitting there, Daryl trying to call him so they can go, and he was like, nah, I'm good, fam. This is my master right here. Yeah, poor Daryl. I said in the episode, I feel really badly that this is the second time that he's been captured by the enemy and kind of trying to be broken. Although I guess the fact that he went through, especially with the fact that he went through what he went through with the Saviors and Negan, Daryl's not scared of this. He's not scared of punishment. He's been through people trying to break him before. And Daryl really isn't scared to die. Like, he was dead serious when he told her, like, if you're going to kill me, just do it. This is the world they live in now, where they know that if it's not you who gets me, it's going to be a walker, it's going to be disease, it's going to be something. Like, I'm not scared to die no more. So if I got to go out protecting my friends, that's exactly what I'll do. I'm very much predicting that this whole situation with Leah is going to be that, you know, we saw her. She was the one person out of that group who was trying to stop their crazy leader from killing the guy who brought back the one who died. And the fact that she spoke up at all and was saying like, oh, he's just scared, he's traumatized, making all these excuses, it says to me that she clearly isn't 100% on board with how these people are handling things. Now, of course, she's not doing enough, because the fact that she's still sticking with them while they're murdering people, often unprovoked, yeah, she still definitely has some darkness that she's willing to turn her back on, but she isn't 100%, sorry, she doesn't seem to be 100% on board with everything that this guy is doing. Now that Daryl's there, I mean, Daryl will know what he has to do. He will walk the walk to the degree that he has to stay alive and to continue to protect Maggie. There's going to have to, like, I have a feeling that if he stays too long, that the inevitable line is going to happen. And the line I mean is like Negan, right? Last season, not last season, the season before, when he had to go with Alpha and the Whisperers and destroy Hilltop. Negan didn't want to do it. He knew that it was going to be a line that people were not going to be able to forgive him for, but he knew that if he didn't buck up in that moment, that Alpha would have been suspicious of him, and that would have been the end of everything. And so I'm kind of hoping that we don't get poor Daryl in the same spot where he's going to have to end up doing something that he really would be against what he's willing to do or what he wants to do. But I feel like the longer he stays with this group, the more that's potentially going to happen. But what I'm hoping is going to happen is that now that he's there and he's in the belly of this beast, he can learn as much as he can about them. Like, he figured out how many people were at the compound, which is really smart of him. Like, I don't know if he's trying to think of how he could take them all out. But I think now that with Leah being there, that is a complication that he did not anticipate. I do think that Daryl still has feelings for Leah. That was an unresolved situation, right? Like, he clearly was in love with her. He chose not to be with her, but then he did want to be with her, but then she left. So he never really got a chance to resolve his feelings about her, so to speak. And we saw that in last season when he went back to the cabin and he was just around it and all the memories it brought back. Like, clearly he feels like that chapter is still open in his book. Do I think that he would choose Leah over Alexandria and the people in it right now? No. I don't think he's going to be willing to risk all of that. So I do think he's going to try to come up with some kind of plan to take these guys down. I do think if he takes out their leader, it will definitely cause a handful of them to scatter, because there definitely is a few of them that I think are probably on Leah's page of being a bit more afraid of him and what he would do if they left, versus actually wanting to stay. But it wouldn't be enough, I don't think. Like, some of them clearly very much, I think, believe in this twisted cause that he's developed. Like, the guys who were doing the waterboarding, they were into it. They seem like they very much believe everything that dude does. And I mean, I think these are probably people who were already snapped from before the fall or the apocalypse happened. And now this world has just given them the permission to live out their twisted little fantasies. And Leah's really the wild card here, because I don't think that Daryl would have it in him to kill her. And I think somewhere in there, Leah feels the same way, but I don't know for certain that Leah wouldn't be able to kill Daryl. We'll see. I feel like as the, as the season goes on, we're going to see where Leah's heart actually is. Because like I said, I don't think she's 100% on board with this cause, but much like probably a couple others in this group, she probably is far more terrified of what will happen to her if she turns against him and then has 14 mercs hunting her down. I'd say their biggest focus right now is to keep eyes away from Maggie and Negan, because, well, and obviously they mentioned Gabe too, because Gabe is still out there on his own. So if Daryl can keep eyes off of them long enough for them to get to Meridian, where there will be supplies, food, and I'm hoping some more weapons, then that will at least be something accomplished until he can figure out what else to do or how to get away. I'm still trying to figure out what this group's end game is, though. We never really found out what their mission was about, like why they're attacking people. Like, why would they go after Maggie's group? I don't know if they just were after the supplies. I mean, that is valid, that everyone in this world now needs food, water, supplies. Why kill everyone? Like, why not just take their supplies and go? Like, if you're trained assassins, you could have taken that stuff, taken out a few of their strong people and moved on. But the fact that they just went and just indiscriminately kill and hunt people says to me that there's more to it. So it could just be a matter of we're crazy religious zealots, although it seems like it's just the leader, because the rest of them don't seem all that religious. But what's their purpose? I'd like to know more about that, and I'm hoping in the upcoming episodes they'll tell us like why they're so obsessed with figuring out who's who and like where people are coming from. Is it really just a matter of wiping them all out? Is it a matter of trying to control them? What's the deal? Yeah, very interesting episode. I think it's very interesting that they gave us a bottled episode this soon in the season. We really didn't see anybody else. We have no idea what's going on anymore with Maggie and Negan. We don't know what's going on back in Alexandria. And again, we still have no glimpses into the Commonwealth, but I did see the preview for next week, so it looks like we're going to be jumping into that then. I'm assuming if they've spent so much time showing us Leah, showing us that relationship, and showing us these predators, that they're going to end up being a pretty huge factor into the season. It's probably a good thing now that we've got that group at the Commonwealth, because we're going to need somebody with a lot of weaponry and some type of training in order to take out literally trained assassins. Yeah, that's pretty much for this episode. There's really not too much to say, as I said before. I did enjoy it in the sense of now we've got a good sense of what we're dealing with, but I am very much looking forward to how we're going to actually move forward this season and figure out what our big giant arc is really going to be, because somehow I just don't think that this group is the end all be all, not when we still have the Commonwealth in the picture. So I look forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you did, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.